It's Madden NFL 23 on EA Sports. And we'll get a look here at All-Pro Devontae Adams. He's putting together one of the better seasons in league history. It's the Raiders and the Steelers, and it's coming up next on EA Sports.
Well, the cold weather certainly helping set the stage for what should be a physical primetime contest at Pittsburgh's Acrisure Stadium. Straight ahead, we've got a good one on tap here between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Pittsburgh Steelers. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Steeler ball club entering play. It's been perfection so far. 13-0. So the football will be at the 25-yard line as this offense gets set to take over. They turn to Harris to begin the drive. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. Pretty much unreal, not just in terms of yardage, Charles, but also throw in the 3 touchdowns as well.
When you put the whole package together, I can make you a pretty good guarantee right now. He's going to see a few more people in the box every time he lines up.
Yeah, I don't think that the defense has any choice. They've got to stop him. Can't let a repeat performance like that.
Agreed.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. Pat Freiermuth, the intended target, and it's 3rd and short. And despite injuries like these, Charles, with these guys missing, they've been able to keep that pursuit of perfection alive so far.
That just shows the depth that they have on the roster and the guys who are serious about being ready when their number is called. Someone goes down, someone jumps in, and they don't skip a beat. I think this team has a bunch of those guys, and some of them will be called out again this week.
It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. Well, they kept it simple there, CD, only needing... to move the chains, so they didn't want to go with a deep throw. They just go with that safer, shorter throw and able to convert.
Nothing wrong with that at all, partner. Check the box, right? Make sure you pick up the first down. Offense is getting established. You're moving the ball. You're not turning it over. Check, check, check. They like what they're doing early in the game.
Pittsburgh getting 16 yards there and also a first down. And CD, we have seen some great runs the last few times we've been together, but I think we could at least put this one in our top 5. That was a determined gallop there.
And as a former defender, I can tell you with certainty, those are the ones that have you losing sleep at night. I would not like to be in that film room on Tuesday going over that one. Just a pretty poor effort defensively, and it leads to a big play.
And the next-gen stats shows us the tale of how much yardage he was able to pick up after the initial contact. And, Charles, you think about this offense, and it's kind of a tricky time of the season because you're 14-0, looking to see this one out to the end, but you start to run into situations where guys are getting a little banged up. Maybe could use some time sharing, some time on the bench just to rest. How do you approach the rest of this regular season?
I'm telling you, you don't ask the easy stuff, do you? I mean, you created a heck of a situation there, and actually you didn't create it. You presented it, and you're exactly right. It is tricky because your eye has to be on the ultimate prize, which is the Super Bowl. That's paramount. But at the same time, how much fun would it be to go down as one of the all-time great teams and join the 1972 Dolphins as the only undefeated team to win a Super Bowl?
They're going on 4th down. It's Trubisky. This time he's got the hook up. It's complete. The conversion is successful with a sizable gain of 13, and the decision to go for it looks like a smart one. Charles, their first drive of the game, and already they're taking chances here, but they get the 4th down conversion. I'm curious, do you think that that's something they game plan for on the opening drive if it came up, or is that something that happened organically?
I think that they game plan for it, Brandon, and when you think about it, let's just say it. The word analytics is a big part of how everyone looks at a game nowadays, but it's not just the analytics. It's a coach willing to be daring, willing to be bold, and they certainly were there.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. He finds Pickens over the middle. Touchdown! George Pickens, his 19th touchdown there of the season. And the Steelers will claim the early lead as they're on the board first here tonight. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely. So this offense will head back out there, already in excellent field position thanks to the interception. Now a first down carry for Harris. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up. Well, it's impossible to see the Raiders and Steelers in Pittsburgh and not think of our namesake, the late, great John Madden, and the Immaculate Reception game, which celebrated its 50th anniversary yesterday. It was December 22nd, 1972. So this game, a nice little nod from the schedule makers, no doubt. And the Raiders have gotten a little bit of revenge in recent years. They've won 4 out of 5 and have a 17-13 all-time advantage in the series. Looking to throw, Trubisky on first down. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Throwing here, Trubisky. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, that was his first target of the game, and it's going to take at least one more target to get him on the board. Took a nice substantial hit to jar that catch loose from him. Incomplete pass.
Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. So on fourth down here, Mike Tomlin says, let's just get 3. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. And his kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
And he's got some space here. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Boy, Charles, this offense is just so explosive. They lead the league in scoring, and another example of just how good they are right there on that play.
Yeah, we often overstate about how explosive teams are, but this team is truly a threat to score on every snap, especially on the first few plays of any series. And a big stroke like that only adds to their reputation as the league's best offense.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They have to be pleased with the way that they've moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
And some room to work. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 151 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ball game. For a lot of people, MVP award means a quarterback award usually, but over 100 yards again last week. They're going to have to look his way more than once when giving out this award this season, I think.
Yeah, it's not just the consistency. It's been some plays that we've seen where we talk about it for weeks thereafter. That's what we're getting out of him. Over 100 yards last week. Expects to continue that in this game, too.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Trubisky will throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last two plays.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Harris running straight ahead. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Najee Harris with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And they're able to add on to their advantage. So the first drive ended in 3. This time they take it down and punch it in the end zone.
So that first drive felt...
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And with a little under a minute to go, still time to try to put a drive together to add to their lead should they so choose. They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete. Christmas Eve here in 2022. A big slate today of Saturday games. But we will have, ready for this, a triple header of action on Christmas Day tomorrow. I think it's pretty safe to say we won't have a white Christmas in any of these places, however. We start with the Packers and Dolphins in Miami at 1 Eastern. Then you got the Broncos and Rams from Los Angeles. And then finally, the Bucs and Cardinals at 8:20 Eastern in the desert. Plus one more for good measure on Monday. Once the family's all gone back home and Grandma's punted out of the house, grab the leftovers and sit back and watch the Chargers and the Colts from Indianapolis. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Now it's Trubisky. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And this is caught. A big play there just before halftime. 41 yards. Now the Steelers use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. Going with a big fullback, Watt. No gain on the play, and it's going to be 2nd and goal. They go with Watt again, the fullback. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Derek Watt in the final seconds of the first half. And the Steelers would extend their lead here just before halftime.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if it...
Third quarter action, and this offense will have a 1st and 10 as they get set for the next drive. They'll start on the ground with Harris. And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Here's Trubisky to throw. And the catch made by Johnson. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
A run with Harris out of the shotgun. Room here to run. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. Boy, 184 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night. They had a chance to limit his yardage, but he was able to fight off that tackle.
So it's not just the responsibility of the guys who missed the tackles along the way. It's all 11 on defense, able to stop this guy, unable to do it on that play. They've got to find a way. How about his ability to break through and gain that yardage?
On first down, Trubisky. Wide open receiver complete. And in for the Steelers touchdown. Miles Boykin, 32 yards. And the Steelers take a 3-touchdown lead.
Partner, they had a good lead as they went in at the half, and they came out here in the second half and found a way to extend it. I love their consistency. Don't worry about what they said at halftime. This seemed like a team that was ready to play 60 minutes, and while this game is far from over, I love their...
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They're just looking to do more of the same. They were good in the first half. They've extended their lead so far here in the second half. They're just looking good on hitting on all cylinders right now.
And sometimes that means a head coach who really has a finger on the pulse of the team may not have anything to say at all. May tell the rest of the coaches, just back it off a little bit. This team has it under control. I remember hearing about Bob Knight years ago in basketball, getting ready to give the final speech before the gold medal game in '84. And on the board, Michael Jordan had written, "Coach, after all we've been through, there's no way we're losing tonight." He didn't even give a pregame speech.
Wow, interesting. Well, right now, no speech is needed. Play action. Now Trubisky. He's got this to Pickens. 20. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. George Pickens with touchdown number 20 on the year as his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And the Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Been a very strong performance for them, really, on both sides of the football. The turnover on downs, the most recent example, and now, obviously, they're in a great spot here.
Yeah, if you're over on the bench right now, you're shaking hands with your teammate, you're hugging.
And now off to the races, down the right side. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Najee Harris, 73 yards. And the Steelers start to open this lead even wider here in the fourth. Go ahead and give him the hat trick. He's been in the end zone now 3 times.
You toss your fedora first, okay? You go ahead and do.
So the football will be at the 25-yard line as this offense gets set to take over. A handoff to Harris to begin the drive. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock, and if you have the ball, they can't score.
Now here's another carry for Harris. Shedding the tackler, and it gives him some room. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. Now they'll throw it with Trubisky.
He's got his tight end Freiermuth right side.
And he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds. The end result, 21 yards.
There's a beautiful throw there, and he's been sensational the entire game, moving it around, spreading it, hitting the right guys. And look, under normal situations, partner, I would expect him to come out of the game now. They've got it in hand. But you and I have been around this league a long time, and every time we ask head coaches about it, hey, why don't you take your quarterback out when the game's in hand? They just got to give us that look like that's what he's paid to do. So it's a very unusual situation. I'd want him out. They tend to leave him in.
Harris will score. Touchdown, Steelers.
Another touchdown here in the fourth quarter, and Charles, I think we can start to consider that this undefeated streak of theirs is going to be safe for another week.
Well, partner, you don't make it this far into a season without a...
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate, but we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
He's starting to fall into the category of not fair, because when he's on target throwing the ball, he's dangerous. But when you add in his ability to make plays with his feet, almost impossible.
Yeah, exactly. They've had trouble stopping him in the secondary. This time they've got the great coverage. Oh, he can run too. Looky here, Trubisky wants to throw it. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
Give him a little extra credit there. His head was cool as the play broke down. Didn't force a throw, and in the end, got to show off his athleticism with a nice gain to bring up a new set of downs.
They hand this off to Harris. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, business as usual for them. Well on their way to another victory. Riding a serious wave of momentum from what we've seen. And so far, they haven't met their match. So if you're going to play this team in the future, your mission is clear. You better be ready to play and match their firepower.
Scoring game, Charles, than we typically see in the National Football League, but fun to watch these offenses. They were really clicking. It seemed like everything that they dialed up worked.
Yeah, it certainly was fun to watch from our perspective. I'd like to be those defensive coaches, though. That wasn't a blast for them at all. And let's face it, they all game plan, they all scout, they all think they're prepared, but executing and stopping teams, that's another matter entirely.
So for the Steelers,
they are now 2 wins away from a perfect regular season as they move to 15-0.
And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Baltimore Ravens.
Meanwhile, for Las Vegas,
their playoff hopes take a big hit as they fall to
It's the NFL on EA Sports. And we'll get a look here at tight end Pat Freiermuth. He comes in second in the NFL in touchdown receptions. It's the Steelers and the Ravens next on EA Sports.
So the football will be at the 25-yard line as this offense gets set to take over. They'll start the drive with Harris. And some room to run now. There he goes, right side. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Wow, first play of the game, CD, 75 yards. These people, they haven't even filed in yet from the tailgate lots.
Everyone talks about starting out fast. Everyone talks about getting explosive-type plays. That was absolutely a thunderbolt. And on the defensive side, you spent all week scheming, all week preparing, and it seems like it goes right out the window.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
Well, partner, you know, coaches always say is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
Off the play fake. Here's Trubisky. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Justin Houston, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Batting that one away in coverage, that was Kyle Hamilton. And despite injuries like these, Charles, with these guys missing, they've been able to keep that pursuit of perfection alive so far.
That just shows the depth that they have on the roster and the guys who are serious about being ready when their number is called. Someone goes down, someone jumps in, and they don't skip a beat. I think this team has a bunch of those guys, and some of them will be called on again this week.
Well, you don't expect too many quarterbacks to be adept at breaking away from would-be tacklers, but this is uncommonly good right here as he's able to get away.
Yeah, and at the risk of sounding just a little bit trite, this is just a tackle that needs to be made. It's one thing when you've got a bruising 230-pound running back coming your way, but when it's a quarterback who's running for his life, your teammates will tell you, you've got to get him on the ground.
They'll throw on first down with Trubisky. He gets it complete to Harris. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that'll make it second down. Now it's Trubisky. It's Najee Harris now on back-to-back plays with a catch. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2.
So, Charles, you know, for this offense, we've been talking all year about how difficult it would be to run the table. And you gave me your chances early in the year. You thought maybe 25%. A few weeks ago, you thought closer to 50, but not quite 50. Now, here they are, 15-0. This is happening, isn't it?
I think it is, Brandon, because I do believe this team is too invested, too well coached to fall asleep at the switch now. And I think it ultimately benefits them to stay engaged all the way through the season because make it to the finish line, then they get the open week to refresh and re-energize. But if you get off the gas now, that can really hurt you come playoff time.
Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31.
So another on-target throw, and that last one, Charles, going to put him up over 5,000 yards passing out for the season, and that is not an insignificant number.
Indeed it is not, because this is not a big list, and most of the guys on it, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Dan Marino, they either are or will be Hall of Famers.
Touchdown! Deontay Johnson with touchdown number 12 on the year.
And the Steelers go coast to coast.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Pat Freiermuth.
75 yards.
And the Steelers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Week after week, Charles, when we see this offense operate, I don't know, they just seem to get more impressive.
They certainly do, and let's face it, it's no surprise they're the best in the NFL in scoring. This team designs things well and executes even better. And here, it only takes a few snaps before they're in.
So the football will be at the 25-yard line as this offense gets set to take over. Harris starts the drive on the ground. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. A lot of running backs, a little bit of a disadvantage when you start talking MVP. Might not be the case this year. You think he's got a shot, don't you?
I do. I think he's got more than a shot. But what he's going to need here down the stretch this late in the season, he needs that big closing game, that game that we're all going to reflect on and go, oh, my goodness, did he put up a number, let's say, 200 plus?
He has enough for the first down on the keeper, a gain of 6. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll check in with Jonathan Coachman from Orlando. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half of play. On 1st and 10, it's Trubisky.
That's going to be caught by Pickens. He's got room at the 30.
And in for the Steelers touchdown.
George Pickens.
His 21st touchdown of the season.
And the Steelers are able to widen their lead here in this first half.
And nothing too crazy there. A quick slant, and then he just had a seam. He found a seam.
And when you hit it on the run like that, and I mean the pass right to the...
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
The offense coming back out here. Plenty of energy, ready to roll, looking to just add to what they have been doing after scoring a touchdown, Charles, their last time out.
And that's a great feeling to have on the sideline, partner, knowing you just won the battle against the opposing defense. And since they came off the field, I'll guarantee you all they want to do is get back out there because they know they have the upper defense right now.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Now Trubisky to throw. Completing it to the right side. Johnson. And gets by him, and now a little daylight.
He's still on his feet. Deontay Johnson. And he's going to get this all the way down to the 2 before he's wrestled out.
A big play there on the catch and run. 64 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. Give to the fullback. This is Watt. And he gets halfway there down to the 1-yard line. 2nd and goal from the 1. And they'll let the fullback try and take him home. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers.
Derek Watt. His 3rd rushing touchdown of the year. And the Steelers will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
They have really had their way so far in the first half, but they wanted to continue to build on their lead. They know that no lead is safe in this league, so they decided to try their best to get one more as they headed into the half, and they got it done.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
And they were terrific in the first half, built up a sizable lead, and it's just been cut into a bit following the opening drive score on the other side. But this is a unit that has to be itching to get the football again.
And you can say that again. They've got to be pretty eager because, let's face it, they've had to sit through halftime.
Down the numbers. There he goes. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Najee Harris.
His second touchdown of the afternoon as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. And we didn't even get a chance to settle in for that drive. A quick So the football will be at the 25-yard line as this offense gets set to take over. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Mitchell Trubisky, 75 yards, as his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. I don't think you can get any more efficient or tidy, whatever word you want to use in that. Man, one play, 75 yards, end zone.
Yeah, efficient, tidy, excellent words. How about explosive? 75 yards, one play. That means everyone handled their assignment, doesn't it? It doesn't just mean that the defense broke down. They really executed the way that was drawn.
Now following the interception, this offense will get another. As they'll quickly head back onto the field. They'll start this drive out on the ground. Oh, he pulls over him. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
195 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
We always talk about, we always look for guys with fresh legs down the stretch of a long NFL season. Well, in Week 16, he was the AFC Player of the Week, and looks like he's going to be strong for Week 17 as well.
And he'll power his way forward for about 4 yards there on the first down carry. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. They go play action. Trubisky.
Out route, and he connects with Freiermuth.
And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. The catch and run pays off to the tune of 35 yards. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
On the give, this is Harris. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. He was over 100 receiving last week. He's over 100 now this week as he's got a first down as well. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch. After a play like that, there should be congratulations all the way around, I think, because if you can stop a big fullback like that, that's not easily done.
Yeah, he does not. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Derek Watt with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year.
And the Steelers are closing in on that 16-0 record as they add on to their lead.
Well, if at first you don't succeed, try again. They go to the big man. Second time he gets it done.
Almost as if they were feeling like he was establishing a...
So this offense will head back out there, already in excellent field position thanks to the interception. They'll toss to Harris. And finding room to work, he's down to the 2-yard line. A good pickup there, 7 yards, and it's going to be second and goal now. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They've got a second and goal now as they look to add a few more points here onto their total. Second and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line. Trubisky keeps it himself, and they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Well, they just continue to roll. And, Charles, for you and I, we want the close games, but for them, it has to be so nice to enjoy this big cushion.
I can't remember the last time we saw them play this loose and have this much fun. I think they'd love to be able to capture this game.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
They've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the fourth quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score again, but it seems like this offense is just getting better as the game goes on. They've scored on their last 2 drives.
Certainly feels like a chance for them to continue to have some fun out there, doesn't it? Game's already decided, as you noted. So they can continue to play loose, break out some other concepts, maybe run a few trick plays, get other people involved. Heck, even go deep on one of these first snaps just because they can.
So the big play moves them all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. Oh, Trubisky going to throw. And going deep downfield for Boykin. And he's got it inside the 10. A big play that time for Pittsburgh. 43 yards. The Steelers signal for the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on first. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, they move the ball down the field through the air, Charles, and then finally they get the running game involved, and it works to perfection. Touchdown.
And, partner, I kept waiting for that running game to come into play and actually see.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
And they just continue to roll right along, really. This has the looks of yet another victory as they hope to polish it off here in quarter number 4.
And they'll indeed take a knee. So this one in the win column for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we talk so much about the turnover battle, determining who wins, who loses. This game, no exception. Air-free football, no turnovers at all, and they win it.
So this is one you don't have to convince your team that what you're saying is accurate. And you know what I'm talking about. Head coach always stands up in front of the team and says, guys, if we do this, this, and this, we'll win. And usually they say if we win the turnover battle, we'll win. Well, here's the proof right there. Win the turnover battle, go on to victory. Now the guys believe. You move on to the next lesson where you have to convince them. This one is now planted.
So for Pittsburgh, they're a win away.
It's Week 18 of the National Football League, and our focus is on Amari Cooper, as he's topped the 1,300-yard mark receiving on the year. It's the Browns and the Steelers.
Nothing on the scoreboard, 0-0 as the offense gets ready to take over the football. They'll start on the ground here on first down.
And not much doing there, maybe a yard up to the 23. And despite injuries like these, Charles, with these guys missing, they've been able to keep that pursuit of perfection alive so far.
That just shows the depth that they have on the roster and the guys who are serious about being ready when their number is called. Someone goes down, someone jumps in, and they don't skip a beat. I think this team has a bunch of those guys, and some of them will be called on again this week. We often talk about understanding the playbook, understanding progressions, and understanding what the defense is doing. Down on that play. Great recognition and understood where his running back was going to be. Found a way to have him leak out underneath, hit him with the football, and they picked up the first down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. And that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You get better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 37-yard line. Here's Trubisky. And he rifles one incomplete.
So, CD, here we are. You look at how well this offense has played all year, 16-0. Now, in most years, they'd be at home right now enjoying time off for their perfect season, getting ready for the postseason. But this is the decade of the 2020, so that means 17 games are what's needed to get through a perfect season. Would a win here make them an all-timer for you?
It would. It absolutely would. And I realize we're not comparing apples to apples because of the length of regular seasons. But if you think back to the 1972 Dolphins, they were 14-0 in the regular season. 3 wins made them a Super Bowl champion, so they were 17-0 total. Imagine getting through 17 now and then continuing on and winning the Super Bowl. They're an all-timer team already for me.
And he'll get 7 yards from the 17 to the 10 before he's taken down. And the pocket's been protected pretty good here so far on the opening drive.
We always talk about confidence in runners and catchers and quarterbacks. How about the protection detail? They're not allowing anyone near the guy throwing the football.
Facing a 2nd and 3. Ball on the 10.
This is Harris. That play gets him 6 yards and sets them up with a 1st and goal. Another fine carry from the NFL's rushing leader, and quarterbacks typically dominating the MVP balloting, but I think you got to give this guy serious consideration, don't you?
I agree totally. I mean, he's leading the league in rushing, and let's face it, partner, the running back renaissance in the NFL, it's real, and it's really helping teams along the way. He's a prime example. Got to give him strong consideration for MVP talk.
And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now. So this offense will head back out there, already in excellent field position thanks to the interception. After the interception, here's Trubisky. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
These two teams, you might recall, met up back in September in Week 3. And it was the visiting Steelers who came away victorious, so they'll look to claim the season series with a win here in Pittsburgh.
And he's out of bounds, almost gets to the 10. And give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain.
No surprise to see him running again here. It's something he's done throughout this season. And that run puts him over 500 yards on the ground for the year. He's got to be thinking to himself, if I'm already at 500, what's to stop me from going for 1,000?
Trubisky now to throw on third down. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers.
Pat Freiermuth.
His 17th touchdown now on the season.
And the Steelers use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one.
You got to figure down by the goal line. This is where a tight end earns his money in the high traffic area. And he's able to work free in the middle of the end zone and grabs that one for a touchdown.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Things progressing to plan so far. Their defense has been solid, and they've got themselves a 7-0 lead after the touchdown the last time they had the ball.
And this is no time to even think about, hey, are we going to milk the clock? Hey, are we just got to do ball control? This is the NFL. 7-0 leads, they don't last very long unless you continue to push the envelope on offense.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Trubisky. His throw incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
Trubisky's throw complete to Freiermuth. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. 2nd and 10 now. It's Trubisky. And this is incomplete.
They tried to make something happen, but that one came up incomplete and really wasn't a good-looking throw.
Yeah, maybe even go as far as to call that a little ill-advised.
Yeah, I would say so. I think that's the right phrase for it. Definitely ill-advised. Just wonder about his mechanics right now, you know, and that's the tough part. You do so much stuff in practice to make it repetitive, but it has to repeat under pressure, whether it's pressure from the defense or just the pressure of playing the game.
That one goes for 24 yards. This is Harris.
And some determined running there as he'll pick his way down to the 12-yard line. 50 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10.
Throwing here, Trubisky.
And a dangerous throw there, incomplete. He threw that into coverage. It was nearly intercepted.
I know in every game we do, we talk about momentum. That was a momentum play lost. And now there could be a letdown because they didn't get the interception.
Now you could almost hear the collective gasp on the sideline as he could not come up. Touchdown!
George Pickens.
Touchdown number 22 on the season.
And the Steelers have taken a 2-touchdown lead now.
When you're a great route runner, it makes you that much.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And now consider the lead. The question is, how much is good enough? Are you going for more?
It's the NFL. There's never enough, I believe, because they get reeled in all the time when you sit on the ball. I think that they will try and move the ball downfield and try and squeeze a few more points out of this first half. They'll be careful. They'll be a little bit cautious at times, but also they will attack downfield and try and get position for at least 3 points.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Trubisky will throw.
A throw left side, caught by the tight end Freiermuth. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. It's another 1st down as this time they get an even 20.
Now it's Trubisky.
Looking for Pickens. He's got him on the out route.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. So we reach halftime here in the Steel City.
Only 2 quarters of football left in the regular season. Everybody's excited to get to the playoffs. So excited that we're just going to skip right over halftime and get back to the action.
And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gordon, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. The Browns going to see the football first, but they trail here as we resume play on EA Sports. This will be fielded inside the 5. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23. So the football will be at the 25-yard line as this offense gets set to take over. Play action. It's Trubisky. Finds Pickens out right. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. The catch and run going to wind up netting him 33 yards.
Already over 1,000 yards receiving this season. That catch is just going to add to his total. Certainly not resting on his laurels. He's trying to continue to gain as many yards as possible and continue this big season.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Here's Trubisky to throw. Over the middle, complete. That's Harris. He'll get it inside the 20. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. 3 touchdown passes now for Mitchell Trubisky. And the Steelers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the...
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Their lead down to 2 scores after the touchdown a moment ago as they start with a 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. Shoves him away. 84 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. They'll drop to throw. Pickens on the slant. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary. Figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
36 yards on the play.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
1 quarter remains here as the regular season starts to wind down. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh. It's Steeler football, and they have the lead as well as we begin quarter number 4. They'll set up a throw. And in for the Steelers touchdown. Deontay Johnson, a 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Steelers look poised to reach 17-0 as they add on to their lead. A partner, he has carried them in this ballgame throwing the football. All 4 touchdowns through the air, and that's really helped them get this nice lead.
And I know it's a team game, but right now,
we are in the 4th and final quarter as the offense will have the football starting this drive 1st and 10. Here's Harris. And some space here. The 20, 5, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Well, definitely a good day's work throwing the football. Very good day's work. A 4th touchdown passes. They're really pouring it on.
Yeah, and so much for going into clock mode after getting that touchdown, right? Because you would think with the lead, 4th quarter, they might actually do that. No chance. They've kept the
Well, their defense did the job. They got the turnover on downs. Now what can the offense do as they take possession? Now Trubisky on 1st down.
Got an open man. It's Pickens. And they're going to get this down inside the 15.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the fourth, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and look like turtle at this point. You can just go ahead and play.
On first down, Trubisky. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
A CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do what you want to do. It's up to the other team to make you change how you do things. They'll continue to throw it around until stopped.
They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
Out of the gun, Trubisky. Got his man, it's caught for a Steelers touchdown. Miles Boykin, a 7-yard touchdown grab.
And the Steelers have sewn this one up as they add to their lead here in the fourth. Well, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been...
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
Well, we've reached the stage where it's a mere formality at this point. They've got the comfortable lead. We know what the outcome is going to be. I guess the only question is, do they want to put more points on the board before the final gun?
Well, I certainly hope not, and I'm being selfish here because you and I have flights to catch. Let's go ahead and finish this one off, guys. You taking care of business, let's close it out. And you and I, let's get to the airport.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up 2nd and 10. They run with Harris.
And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield. 160 yards rushing for him now as this sensational afternoon continues.
They go play action with Trubisky. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down.
Partner, the good ones have a clock running in their head, okay? Because it says something like this. I've got this many seconds to find a target. After that, I have to tuck it and try and get some yardage on this first down snap. He doesn't just get some yards, though. He gets a big gain, and they'll come right back with another 1st and 10.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now it's Trubisky.
And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. On 2nd down, this is Harris. And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1.
I haven't met a defense coordinator yet that thinks 2nd and 2 is a fun situation to try and defend. Playbook is wide open for an offense, partner.
Nice job. Hold him to 1 after that 8-yard pickup on first down. And he's going to get the first down here as he's taken down at the 22. A strong 8 yards will keep this drive rolling.
I know this game's winding down and people are getting tired, and that's when you really want a big body guy running the football. But I have to tell you, watching him run it, I wonder why they don't use it more earlier in the game.
Yeah, those bigger guys here late in the game, you're trying to protect the lead, usually not as fumble prone either.
No, that is so true because they are taught, take care of the ball as you surge forward, and you often see them with both hands wrapped around it when they go through the line.
A good position to be in here, 2nd and inches.
Harris running straight ahead. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Looky here, Trubisky wants to throw it. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
defensive resistance on that drive. And really, Charles, the way this offense has been humming, they haven't faced much defensive resistance the entire game.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that one team, their defense did not wake up and make it to the stadium for this one. There may be some major changes on that side of the ball when we see them the next time out.
So now we're in the final minute of the game in the fourth quarter as this offense gets ready to take over. They'll throw on first down with Trubisky. And he will find his big tight end over the middle. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, when they said before the game that they were going to try and execute every second of this contest, I guess that was taken literally, because here they are in the final moments of the fourth, putting another touchdown on the board, Charles, to add to this big lead.
At 110%.
Well, this was a blowout supported by both sides of the ball today, Charles. It would be easy to look at the offense and say, man, they were clicking, and they were, but don't forget about the effort by this defense as well.
Yeah, they weren't going to let up just because the lead was saved. They wanted to play as big a part in this game as their offense did in making this blowout. They needed to be noticed as well, and they played accordingly.
So for the Steelers,
they make NFL history with this, their 17th win without a loss. A perfect 17-0 on the regular season.
And now they'll have the week off as they get set to go after a Super Bowl title. Meanwhile, for the Browns,